Pedro.
I don't know why they call this guy Napoleon Dynamite. He does not seem to be too dynamite to me. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Saturday. It is, I know it's December. I know we are 1 week away from the beginning of winter, that 3-month period that some of us like. If you like to go snowboarding or ice fishing, you like the cold weather. You like the snow, if we get some. Snow I'm okay with. Unfortunately, it needs to be cold enough for it to snow. The cold, I've had enough of it. I really have. At any rate, welcome to Brian's Beat, the only show born at the apex of freedom, entrepreneurship, and drones. Nomadism, excuse me. ABC told you what they wanted you to know? Here's my spin, so to speak. Our pro teams, not including the Revolution, but our other pro teams that are in season right now, they're all playing out of town. Bruins play late night in Vancouver. The Celtics tomorrow evening down in Washington, D.C., the Patriots are in Arizona for a game tomorrow afternoon against the Cardinals, plural. Cardinal would be Stanford. The way that the Patriots are playing, maybe they should be playing the Stanford Cardinal. This game tomorrow might be the last chance, final chance, for the Patriots to win a game this season. They have, at least Arizona has the worst record of the three teams they're going to play. They're going to play Buffalo twice during that period. Buffalo is, Buffalo has a chance, outside as it might be, of being the top team in the conference. They have a chance. That's how good they are. And the LA Chargers, who they play, I believe, Christmas weekend, they're all right this season too. So this might be the last chance for our Patriots to win a game this season. Whether they win, whether they lose, they will be playing right here on WBSM, AM and FM. And we start things off with the pregame. That's going to be about 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. Kickoff about 4:25. Let's see. If you include today, we've got the 12 days of Christmas. Well, no, not really, but 12 days, including Christmas. 11 shopping days, so to speak, before Christmas. Woke up this morning, had them Statesboro. I woke up this morning and I looked outside. Besides seeing a little frost on the windshield, I did not, and I repeat, I did not see a drone. No drones. And the Pentagon continues to be like, Sergeant Schultz, I see nothing. A New Bedford police detective shot in the face last year still can't get full retirement. If RFK Jr. and company get their way, the polio vaccine's approval will be revoked. Think twice before ordering on Amazon. Have you heard about this? There's a pending warehouse worker strike. 700,000 warehouse workers for Amazon. It seems elementary that the New Bedford School Committee would stop K-5 classes at the troubled Parker School. It's not as troubled as it used to be. However, the Parker Elementary School will be closing when we get into the summertime. It's going to be closing down. It will reopen as something else, but it's closing down as an elementary school. Animal assisted therapy. Animal assisted therapy is one of the activities to be featured at a Massachusetts high school. Animal assisted therapy. Our millionaire tax dollars get busy tomorrow. I'll tell you about another free service coming up after the Brian's Beat quote of the day. Jim has a Town Square Sunday preview, the Bitcoin Biz Barometer next half hour, the Brian's Beat quote of the day after we learn a little bit more about today, December 14th. The one thing that we do know about today, it is going to be cold. It will warm up a little bit, but otherwise it's going to be cold. If you'd like to find out the full weather forecast, I invite you to go to the WBSM app because we have full weather details right there for you at your fingertips. On this, the 14th day of December, it is free shipping day. You know, I wonder if a lot of people will load up to try to do Amazon today, and if they happen to have a strike that starts tomorrow or Monday, what happens to those packages? And will things through Amazon now, will they get to you or to whomever you're buying a gift for by Christmas? Gingerbread decorating day. Now, I didn't know we had a date to decorate gingerbread. I mean, I thought people did it if that's what you wanted to do. Sometimes people like it plain. Some like it decorated or frosted. But I did not realize here in the United States, maybe around the globe, that we would actually commemorate a day for gingerbread decorating. But goes to show you how lost in space I am, because today is Gingerbread Decorating Day. It's also International Shareware Day. That's where if you go online and, here's a service that I use, and I forget its name, but it's like Microsoft Word and Excel, and I forgot its name, but you can download it for free online, and it's updated on a regular basis. I have no idea who makes it, but it works just like Excel, and it's very compatible to Excel. And the way I look at it is, well, it's up there. You can offer improvements if you want. I wouldn't know how to improve anything like that. But the thing is, if I can save myself, I don't know, $20, $30 a month, $300-$400 if I buy the total package, why not? That's how I look at it. Why not? Shareware, International Shareware Day. It's also Monkey Day. I don't know why. It's Monkey Day. National Wreath Across America Day. You know, like the Christmas wreath. Yeah. It's also Roast Chestnuts Day. Have you ever done that? I know Nat King Cole did the song Chestnuts Roasting Over an Open. But has anybody ever had a chestnut that was really roasted over an open fire? I'd love to talk to some. I have not. But I'm curious, how do they taste? Are they that good? Or is it just a song to make us dream about the holidays. The first Pacific telegraph cable was laid across the ocean floor from San Francisco to Honolulu, starting on this date in 1902. Whew. 1 year later, the Wright brothers, Orville, and who's the other guy? Orville, not Redenbacher, Orville and Wilbur. The Wright brothers make their first attempt to fly the Wright Flyer at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Now, it seems to me that they flew something else. The Wright Flyer didn't get off the ground on this particular date, but they did eventually get it up and running. 2012. And sadly, we do remember this. 28 people, including the gunman, killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School, Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Happened on this date in 2012. Hard to believe. It's been 12 years since that happened. The Brian's Beat quote of the day. Now, I had to toss between George Washington and Alexander Hamilton. George Washington, I believe, passed away in 1799 on this particular date. So I thought about him because he's got a lot of quotes. But Alexander Hamilton, first Treasury Secretary of the United States. I said, how often do people talk about Hamilton? Yes, I know that there's the PBS series Hamilton and whatnot. But I said, why not? Let's do Hamilton this time. Constitutions should consist only of general provisions. When I read that first sentence, it could be a sentence, it really caught my attention. I said, I got to go with this one. Constitutions should consist only of general provisions. The reason is that they must necessarily be permanent and that they cannot calculate for the possible change of things. Isn't that interesting? Especially when we hear about some possible changes coming to the Constitution. Alexander Hamilton. Constitutions should consist only of general provisions. The reason is that they must necessarily be permanent and that they cannot calculate for the possible change of things. 508-996-0500 is how you get onto the program today. Going to take a quick one. Jim has a Town Square Sunday preview coming up in a couple of minutes. Yeah, well, that sounds great. This probably will not. In fact, I was on for Barry on Tuesday, I believe it was. And I got a call, and this woman was complaining because her heating bill had gone up quite a bit or was in the process of going up quite a bit. Well, according to Boston University State House, you're right. Households relying on natural gas could see heating bills 24% higher this winter compared to last year. Now, I did a double take. And I said, is that 2.4 or is that 24? And I'm still looking, and my eyes seem to be okay, especially when I put my glasses on. 24%. If you heat with natural gas, let's say it doesn't go up 24%. Say it only goes up 15%. And I don't mean to be loose-lipped about that. 15%, that's a big jump. Fall River residents already spend an average of $2,868 a year on electricity. Their electricity bills are 3% higher than the national average. And it is really cold out right now, 19 degrees. My guess is folks are already running the heater. So just beware. Here's the other thing that you've heard me mention this before. I'm going to throw it in there right now. There's a lot of activity going on. I'm not going to try to label a pro or a con, but I do say this. Keep your eyes open for what's happening down the road. Case in point, there is a lot of talk about drone activity right now. I don't know if they're real drones, something that looks like a drone, if whatever it is that is up there, our government knows about. I don't know. I'm willing to bet that they probably do. I'm willing to bet that not only does our government know about these drones, for lack of a better name, if they are put up there by some foreign country, chances are we're doing the same thing to those countries. But I hear a lot of people are scared. I don't know if there's anything to be scared about. I was talking with Barry about it yesterday, and he had mentioned how some folks want them to be shot down. Now, does that really make sense? You don't know what's in that drone. There could be some type of lethal gas. You know, it could be a spy drone. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that I do. And I certainly don't want foreign bodies spying on us. But I think sometimes you have to do the yin and the yang here. You don't know what could be in that drone. If you go to take it down and it explodes and there's toxic fumes in a specific area, and people start to drop like flies in the summertime, then what are you going to do? Then you got to blame the government for shooting it down. So I guess it's a no-win situation at this particular time. But there are a whole bunch of stories dealing with the drone or the sightings. Got a couple of these stories. Representative Fitzpatrick calls for urgent, immediate action to address unexplained drone activity. New Jersey mayor, drones should be taken down. There's refusal to do so even when they go out to sea. Okay, well, because you don't know what's in them, Mr. Mayor. New Jersey homeowners threaten to take matters into their own hands if government doesn't act. Whew. I guess people are really worried in this particular case. Of course, then there's Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're all in danger. And we might be. I don't know. We might be. And if you take them down and there's a plume of whatever, what are you going to do then? Homeland Security FBI says no evidence suggests drones sightings pose national security threat. They may be right. I don't know. But here's what I think we need to consider. What will governments do about these drones? Will there be some kind of tinkering with laws? Because apparently right now, even when they go out to sea a certain distance anyway, you can't take them down. Shoot them down, take them down. So what do we do about the drones? Maybe a better first question would be, are you worried about this so-called drone activity? Now, can you imagine Congress coming back to session to get together to try to figure out what to do about the drone activity? Might be difficult. Got Christmas coming up. I don't know. But the one thing that I do want people to keep in mind at this particular time is what's going on with people working and jobs and whatnot. We got the news a couple of days ago that the state attorney general is going to be moving to Dartmouth. Don't blame her. Great town to live in. I can vouch for that. I don't know if there's any kind of political ambition or extended political ambition, but she wants to move to Dartmouth. A lot of people want to move to Dartmouth. It's a great town. It's a large town. You have country, you have ocean, so I get it. Look, the former lieutenant governor has a summer house in Padenham. It's a very desirable town. But let's also consider you've got the choo-choo train that's going to be coming. They say in May. Andrea Campbell lives up in Boston. My guess is, I don't know whereabout. I know she lives in Mattapan, but I don't know, what part of Mattapan, what type of house that she has. But my guess is she's going to get a lot more bang for her buck in Dartmouth than she would ever get in Mattapan. And of course, housing prices are going to go up in her area of Boston because there's a build out going on at Franklin Park Zoo. My guess is Andrea Campbell has a lot of friends. If she's a former Boston City Councilor, so she's got a lot of friends up there. She's probably, you ought to see the house that we got down there. It's got some pictures. Come on down, take a look. Maybe she's got some videos. And I have been talking to a former, not colleague, but a person who used to come on my show on a regular basis when I was working up in Boston. And now he works for the Department of Transportation, State Department of Transportation. And we were walking around New Bedford one day, and I was saying, his name is Gareth. I said, Gareth, I'll tell you what. If I could do work like I do with the California station from down here, I might want to do something up there. But I got to tell you, the life is so much better down here. And so he was asking me particulars, and I told him. And I was actually going to walk him up to see the bust of Frederick Douglass. But it was dark, and the timing just wasn't right to do all of that. But I did mention it to him, and, it kind of piqued an eyebrow, and I said, maybe you ought to think about coming down here. And the idea intrigued him. And he said, there are a lot of people up in Boston that are looking for a much better way of life. And I said, well, there's only so much housing, but I got to admit, it's better looking housing. And the stuff that isn't better looking, you can get for a lot less than you can get it up in the city. And so, he's thinking about it. That train comes down here. There is going to be a whole lot of change going on here in the backyard. And this leads me to one other thing dealing with this. Talking about drones, talking about Trump, talking about RFK Jr., et cetera, et cetera. There's this. The employment numbers, or should I say the unemployment numbers. They came out on Thursday. I call it from the I need work economy. 242,000 people this week filed a first-time unemployment claim. 242,000. Is that much, Brian? Well, 17,000 more than the week prior. So we're on average right now, if we were to stay at 242,000, of getting up close to 1 million people here in the Commonwealth. Excuse me, in the country. Not the Commonwealth. We had almost 12,000 people file a first-time claim. And that's nearly double from the week before. So you see where we're going with all of this. 508-996-0500 is how you get onto the program today. Hello.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Brian is. How are you?
I am well. Your
I am hip.
expose on the coming down here from Boston is wonderful. It's true. I had no idea that you were good friends with Gareth. He's a great guy. I worked with him up until my retirement last year.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Gareth was running for city council, and of course, they all come knocking on your door at that particular time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's a great person. I'm trying to keep in touch with him. And you know what? I don't blame folks for wanting to move out of Boston, and they can look all over the Commonwealth. If they want to stay within the parameters of, let's say, Worcester on in, you're not going to get any better bang for your buck than right around here.
No, not at all. And I can tell you, I was with state transportation for Mass DOT for 40 years, and I began my career in Boston. Moved up there briefly for about 4 years and just couldn't wait to get back down to New Bedford.
Don't blame you.
I will tell you, all of my friends that came down to visit me all love this area, and to this day still come down on a regular basis. And a few of those friends have indeed relocated down here and bought property.
So let me ask you, since you brought that up, what was the trigger? What changed their mind to get out of there to come down here?
Number one, it was the living. It was living was just so much better down here. Not to mention the housing prices. They could not believe what we were getting for the low prices for the great housing that we had down here. Mm-hmm. And the beach area, they love that. Absolutely love that.
How
and
about this part? Since you brought that up, the beach part, you don't have to go to Cape Cod to get to a great beach.
Exactly. That's what they were saying. They could not believe the area beaches. They could not believe it. Mm-hmm. But the cost of living and just the sheer enjoyment of what the area had to offer, and it's quick jump to Providence, Newport, the islands, and Cape Cod. Even in the summer, if you wanted to do it, it was an easy thing to do from this location.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's not that far away from Boston. You may not be in the city.
They always said, correct.
Yep. I get it.
But many of them are still down here, but there's quite a few folks from the Boston area that work for MassDOT, and they are here amongst us and have been for a while.
Well,
I was one of them.
Well, so what do you?
There's no reason to be up there.
So what do you think? Now Andrea Campbell has bought property. Don't you think she's going to be, with all of her friends over at the Attorney General's office?
For sure.
I can see it now. The videos. I have this vision.
Oh, it's here, and we've finally been discovered. And I had said that for many years, that every time that someone else came down here, they would tell a friend, and from that region, and they were down here. And just like you had mentioned, the lieutenant governor has moved down here. She loved this area, and her and Charlie Baker were down here on a regular basis. And I met with them on different functions that I had to attend due to my official capacity before I retired. And they love this area, absolutely love this area, to the point where, like you said, she bought a place over in Pink and Aram, and she's here all the time, not just the summer. Don't be fooled. She's here all the time.
Oh, she is, because I thought she was only doing it for the summer.
No, she's here all the time.
Don't blame her. I mean, you could be right outside of Worcester, or you could be in the pad.
Yes, but no, this is a great area. But thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, this area is going to see a change. I know a lot of people are not happy with it.
So that begs that question, though. A lot of people aren't going to be happy because, folks, I like to say it like this and put it in numbers so people can figure it out. If somebody is paying $3,000, $3,500 for a 2.5 with loft apartment up in the city, don't you think that they're going to be willing to pay $3,000, $3,200 for a comparable apartment down here? And that's going to just price the person, maybe it's a single mom with a son. They're not going to share a bedroom, but it's going to price these folks out.
Oh, that's true. But again, I've seen in my own generation, I've spoken with them on many occasions to buy a place, or grab something. And, they weren't interested in it, but they always rode around in the finest cars and everything else, but they didn't want to own property. Some people don't, I get it, but then you're at the whim of how things go. And here we are. But it's taken a long time for the area to finally make that jump, but we're not going back. With the last real big piece of the pie that's affordable, and people are flocking here when they can. Fall River, New Bedford area, it's changed forever.
Gotcha, man. Hey, thanks for the call. If we don't speak again, Merry, happy Mary.
Same to you.
508-996-0500. Let's go to Studio 6 and 7/8. Jim Phillips is going to tell us what's going to happen on Town Square Sunday tomorrow. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Here's what's happening this week on Town Square Sunday. There's a new project in New Bedford designed to provide immediate help for the homeless. Carl Alves of the Homeless Service Providers Network is asking for the public's help in supporting the formation of community gathering centers. We'll tell you how you can help. And in an encore broadcast, we'll speak with Alfred Saulniers about his book, The French in New Bedford, The Early Years. I'm Jim Phillips. Join me this Sunday morning at 6 and 11 for Town Square Sunday on 1420 WBSM and 99.5 FM.
Thank you very much, Jim. A little early there, but we'll do it anyway. The Bitcoin Biz Barometer, where we measure the universal crypto marketplace. Now, I don't know exactly what date this happened, but Bitcoin definitely crossed over the 100,000 mark this morning when I was jotting down the numbers. $101,779 for one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin. That's more than $2,200 more than it was last week at this time. $101,779. Ethereum coming in at $3,992. That's actually down 28. XRP even at $2. Solana down 10 at 226. Binance Coin 728, but that's down 11 from last week. Dogecoin is down 4 cents at 44. And Cardano, $1.11, down a dime from last week. And that's your Bitcoin Biz Barometer for today, December 14th, 2024. As always, I'm getting my numbers from CoinMarketCap.com because I like them. How about that? Plain and simple. I like CoinMarketCap.com, and I think they have proven to be darn accurate. Story that I got from the Boston Globe, and I think ABC actually did something at the top of the last hour. There's an attorney helping another attorney, as it would be. RFK Jr. has this attorney who's going through the paperwork, trying to figure out who is going to be best to work for the different health agencies in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area, and then I suppose some offices in major cities around the country. Anyway, I'm just going to read what it says. The lawyer helping RFK Jr. picked federal officials for the incoming Trump administration has petitioned the government. This attorney petitioned the federal government to revoke its approval of the polio vaccine, which apparently for decades has protected millions of people from a virus that can cause paralysis or death. Now, we know that. I mean, we've heard the stories about polio. We know that we had a president that was inflicted with polio. I know I've taken the polio drink. I don't know if there's a polio shot. But I have to admit, and I have read some of the things that RFK Jr., I should say, has come up with, but I didn't think that they would really try to go forward with trying to get rid of what this basically amounts to, get rid of the polio vaccine. What do you think about that? Has the time come we shouldn't worry about polio, or we should think that the polio vaccine isn't effective? Honestly, I'll admit I have not done any research on what I'm going to say right now. But I can tell you that I don't know of anyone here in the United States that has had the polio drink that has come down with polio. I'm not trying to say the drink worked. I just don't know. Sometimes there is a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of attitude that I have. But maybe Kennedy and company, maybe they know something that we don't know. Do you know of anybody that's come down with polio? What do you think of all of this? Anyway, that's the Kennedy side of the street. Thought I would bring it to your attention because, quite frankly, it caught mine. I said it to woman friend, and, she's got a disdain for the incoming president. More so than you may hear from yours truly. But I never got the impression that she thought the same thing about RFK Jr. But when she heard the story, I read it to her yesterday. Yeah, her face had the puzzled look of why. And quite frankly, so did I. 508-9960-500 is how you get onto the program today. Couple of things for hour 2. LeVar Gilbert. LeVar Gilbert is a New Bedford police officer. He is disabled at this particular time. He is the police officer who, while on duty, took a bullet to the face. He wasn't really shot at. Apparently, the bullet managed to hit him. That's all that really matters. It hit him. And he had to be hospitalized. It's a miracle that anybody who gets shot in the face can drive his vehicle to St. Luke's. Now, he wasn't that far away, but anybody who takes anybody who takes a bullet should not be driving a car. I understand the reason why he was. Don't get me wrong. Just think about it. A bullet to the head, to the face. That's bad enough. Then he had to go somewhere else. He had to go to Boston to be in the hospital. Was in the hospital for a few days there and has had numerous surgeries. Bottom line to all of this, he has had a very hard time getting his retirement. And so the city council made a move to try to get him his retirement. We'll talk about that when we come back. If you'd like to reach me through the app chat, it is open. It is open. You can, if you're driving, don't text. Okay, that's rule number 1. Don't text and drive. Probably shouldn't dial and drive at the same time. Be that as it may, if you're driving right now, I bet you've got that heater blasting. 21 degrees in Dartmouth. Back 21 across the board here. Mattapan, 21. New Bedford, also 21. And if you want the complete weather update, use that WBSM app to get the complete weather details. Right there on the WBSM app. And let me thank SouthCoast Towing for making the app available.